So this presentation is really going to talk about the success that our graduates have achieved. And specifically, we're going to be looking at data from the 2019 to 2020 academic year. But this data is going to be very consistent with our prior years. And hopefully we'll see the same projection over the next couple years as well. There's a lot of pros and cons. More pros of attending, university to get an undergraduate degree. We're going to kind of go over those as well. At this time, we'll take a few minutes to let everyone who is participating in this slideshow to introduce themselves. I will start. My name is Stephen Kellogg. I'm the Senior Enrollment Counselor for the Graduate and Professional Studies Division. So I assist prospective students through recruiting them through pretty much from the point of inquiry all the way up to orientation, and then thereafter I do a transfer to our academic advisor. So I connect with turning in documents for our admission process, working with financial aid, and kind of even some career exploration. So talking over our major and what works best for you. And then we have two other individuals who are on this PowerPoint as well. Rick or Susie, one of you like to go?
Sure, I can go. My name is Rick Eftink. I'm the Director of Admissions for Graduate and Professional Studies here at Grandview. A lot of what I do deals with two areas, enrollment management and helping sure that our processes run as smoothly as possible. The students are treated as well as possible. The other area I work in is business development, where I help develop either new programs, whether they be credit or non-credit, and form partnerships with local communities that many of our graduates eventually end up employed at.
Yeah, okay, and I am Susie Stearns. I'm the director of the Career Center. I'm in my 15th year at Grandview, and I've loved almost every minute of it. It's been, this last year has given us, everybody curveballs, but we've learned a lot, and we've figured out that our students can still persist and we can adapt and be successful. And so part of what we're going to talk about today is all things career and professional development. That's my piece of it. And, how our track record helps you for the future. And we'll share some statistics and, really valid arguments for making sure that you complete your bachelor's degree so that you can be successful in your career after Grandview.
Perfect. Thank you. So the next slide that we're going to see is really kind of talking about the benefits of having a college degree. So these are kind of the top 10 things that most experts or people kind of in the field of higher education and post-secondary education talk about why you should have a college degree. So if you kind of glance over this list, you'll see that there some general terms, but we could dive into a little bit of them. We won't review all of them because some of them might not pertain or there may be a little, crossover. But one of the things too is increased access to jobs. So as we have seen, our society has changed. You have seen more jobs require, associate degrees, bachelor's degrees, specialized certificates. So having, a 4-year degree definitely helps, kind of increase your job opportunities, even just for some entry-level roles. You also increase your marketability, which is very similar to access to jobs. But also prepare for specialized careers is another one. So if you're looking to become a teacher, you can't do that without a bachelor's degree in education. If you wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer, you have to start off at an undergraduate level. So really taking those chances to kind of solidify a career and have access to multiple opportunities that a high school diploma will not, open for you, not as much as they used to. Now is very different. So really having that 4-year degree definitely helps, increase your opportunities, increase your earning potentials. There's some crazy statistics out there about, the amount of money that you make over your lifetime compared to if you have a bachelor's degree compared to someone who does not. I would spew out those numbers, but the statistics are always changing. So I don't want to give you false hope, and it very depends on your market and job and everything else. But if it's something you are interested in learning more about, we can definitely do some research with it. Does Rick or Susie want to add to some different benefits of this college or a college degree?
Yeah, I think you've touched on, and I think it's wise to not quote any specific numbers, because I'm inclined to, but then as soon as you do that, then you're, to your point, Stephen, it becomes irrelevant, and it really is dependent on the sector that students pursue. But there's an old adage, there's an old saying that goes, the more you learn, the more you earn. And that is true, certainly financially. And that's one of the commitments that we make to you at Grandview, is that we are going to help you with a 4-year plan of study or 2-year or whatever it is for degree completion. And we demystify that process. So we will show you what your plan of study looks like, what the cost of the investment is going to be, what the return on that investment is going to be based on the academic major that you choose and the credentialing that you will have gained by the time that you graduate. So if, as Stephen said, if it's in teaching profession, we know, we can give you a pretty strong idea of what you can expect to earn. And then we can make sure that we have kind of a holistic approach as we work with you to complete that degree, so that you make wise investments. You make wise decisions about your loans and your scholarships and all of those things. So return on investment, and the more you learn, the more you earn, those are really strong incentives that we offer for students to really persist and go, all right, should I be done at an associate's degree, or does it make sense for me to, go ahead and persist and complete this bachelor's degree? In terms of investment and the return on it, it isn't just financial, so it's economic stability. So to a greater degree, those students or those graduates who are prepared with a bachelor's degree, they have a greater sense of insulation or protection from job instability. So when we have variability in the market, like we do right now with economic impacts due to a global pandemic, nobody saw that one coming. But, over the years, we just have volatility with markets. And traditionally, students who have higher degrees have greater insulation or security from being unemployed or a displaced worker. So that's something that, we want to make sure that we lead with as well. And then the other thing, a recent statistic is, and I think it holds pretty true, is that 55 to 60% of jobs that are available, there are more opportunities, 50 to 60% more opportunities for those who have a bachelor's degree than those who do not. So, the projections for the future continue to trend that way. And this whole notion of a gig economy and long life learning and all of that just continues to make a strong case for completion of a bachelor's degree.
That was really well spoken by both Stephen and Susie. The one thing I would add is, when dealing with adult students, especially, a lot of times what we run into is a difference between jobs and careers. And there is a difference. I'm sure Susie and Stephen both know what I'm referring to on that. You could have a job right now, and most people will need a job right now. But a lot of times what these degrees and graduating gives you is more of a career, something that will give you that personal growth and fulfillment. I base a lot of stuff off my parents, and my father, with his college degree, it was very fulfilling for him what he did as a journalist when he used that degree. And then I also saw the opposite end of the spectrum, and we won't go through all these, but when I talk about like my mother, she did not graduate from college. She attended and left before she finished her degree. And when you see increased access to jobs, she had the job. She worked there for 30, 40 years. She could not get the advancement opportunity she needed. She was qualified. Everybody knew she was the most qualified. She held the interim position for several years, but it was within the rules that she could not advance to that position permanently unless she had a college degree. So I've seen it firsthand, the difference that this makes, on a family and with your parents. And it really left a mark on me. And that's why we try to focus not just on one thing, but all of this, the fulfillment you get from it and how you're trying to make a life out of this and how it can kind of not only get your foot into the career, but really help you advance with your career.
Good point. Exactly. What
Definitely.
he said. Yeah.
Yeah, well said. And there's a couple other things that we'll touch on too is networking opportunities and advancement opportunities too. So when you're thinking about a college degree, it's more than just actually going to class and learning. You're actually building a sense of network in that space. You're actually connecting with those faculty members, especially in our evening online program. A lot of the faculty members are professionals who are working jobs during the day. So if you have a specialized interest in an area, it doesn't hurt to connect with a faculty member that has experience or currently doing that work to help that, or the faculty member that's full time that has researched and studied those special areas that you're interested in. So it definitely helps kind of just grow your network and have those opportunities available to you. The next slide we're going to go on is not the fun slide. It's really just a whole bunch of statistics and numbers that may not make sense to you, but it definitely shows our pride here and our mission to really equip, empower, and engage our students to be successful at Grandview and in their future vocation. So our numbers really speak volume to what our mission is here. And like I said, that is to equip, empower, and to engage students to be successful long-term. So I think I'm gonna leave this slide to Susie because this is her space and her realm. And she knows these numbers. As she mentioned, 15 years of knowing these numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm happy to jump into that. These numbers on an annual basis keep me up at night. Some because it's a big undertaking, but I'm proud of it. Not personally proud, institutionally proud of the fact that we have such a strong commitment to solid outcomes. So, for the prospective students who are considering Grandview, you should do your homework and you should do comparative analyses. And I will tell you that a point of distinction that we have at Grandview, and this is because we have strong leaders who require this level of discipline with these numbers. So I appreciate that. But they want the highest percentage of participation that we can possibly achieve in this report. So I will tell you that the standard, everybody touts placement rates. Every college or university that you're going to consider, they're going to say we place X%, and it's going to be in the upper 90s. That's just kind of universal. 95 to 98, 99, you're going to hear that. But what isn't communicated as readily is the subtext. It's the subtitle, and that is of what percentage of the population or of the graduating class. So there is a standard, there's a national standard, and it is the NACE first destination quota. And what they recommend is that every college or institution that produces this report, this first destination report, that they achieve at least 60% of the graduating class participation in this survey. So 60% is what a lot of institutions do, and then they are done with this report. It's like, if we can get 60% of our graduates to respond, we're going to figure out whatever percentage of 60% and call it good. So Grandview standard is significantly higher. So we don't settle for anything less than 90%. Our participation rate is typically between 95 and 96% participation. So what that means is that we have a statistically valid placement rate because it is based on the vast majority of our graduates. So with that background, our placement rate is legitimate. I feel good about that number, that 99.2%. So that means, according to the national standards, placement means gainfully employed or continuing education, military or volunteer service. So any of those categories that a student self-identifies, then they get put into that considered placed successfully percentage. Another statistic that we keep track of is alignment with academic major. So that's significantly higher than, again, the national standards, which are going to be in the 60s. So Grandview always hovers around the 90% range. This year it was 88.9. I would attribute that dip a little bit to the fact that we were in the pandemic when we reported the 2020 graduates. And so there was a period of time where new graduates were going, I just need to find a job right now. So I'm going to take this job while we kind of get through the heightened sense of, awareness with the pandemic, and then move into the career. So statistically, our numbers, the fact that we had 99.2% placement rate in the middle of a pandemic it was a surprise to all of us. It was a wonderful surprise. But to Stephen's point and Rick's, it's the Grandview commitment, it's the professors, it's the networking, it's this. I get to produce the numbers, I get to generate the report, but it is representative of so many people's work on this campus to just go, if you're my advisee, I'm going to make connections for you. I'm going to help with networking and finding internships and your first job and all of that. So, at the end of the day, these statistics are representative of really the whole commitment of Grandview to make sure that you complete your degree and then you have success after you graduate.
Perfect. Thank you, Susie.
Yeah.
You did a great job evaluating and analyzing those statistics. Like I said, better than I could. I would have just rambled off the numbers. But like you said, it keeps you up at night. Where
I know. I just know it. I know it personally. So.
I appreciate that. And like I said, we truly value, and it comes from the minute that you enroll or you inquire, that we are going to take it take the wording I'm trying to use is take an interest in your life, from the point that you enroll to the point that you graduate and thereafter. I mean, once a Viking, always a Viking. If you wanted Susie to review your resume 5-10 years from now, she will. I mean, that is the commitment that we have made to our graduates and to our current students, is that we are here for a lifetime. We offer chances for you to come back and get certificates and graduate degrees, or even just to use our service as the Career Center. So definitely something that, you are a valued member here at our institution. The next thing we're going to talk about is our top employers. So really, this is just where we see majority of our students enroll. And once again, it's based off the report that Susie collects in the Career Center. So as you can see, a lot of these institutions or organizations are very local. So they're very local to the Des Moines community. I believe I read in Susie's report that about 88% of our students stay in Iowa, in central Iowa specifically, after they graduate, and a very small percentage leave. So that's a good sign that we are retaining students to stay in our community, which overall helps everybody, that we are supporting our local and community and thriving in the space. We're cultivating individuals who want to stay and who enjoy Des Moines, because Des Moines does have a lot to offer. I mean, we're ranked top 10 in a lot of things, which is huge to say for such a mid-sized city in the Midwest. So some of our top employers, as you can see, is Unity Point Health, Wells Fargo, which is a major player here in the Des Moines community, if you're not familiar with that. Mercy One, the Des Moines Public Schools, Mary Greeley, which is based in Ames, Government All Sectors, Ankeny Community School District, Hy-Vee, Principal, University of Iowa Hospital, Orchard Place, and then Self-Employed. So once again, we're not just helping you, find your own job and career at an institution or organization. We're also encouraging you to take charge and become a self-employed and live that entrepreneur lifestyle. So just some basic top employers. Susie or Rick, do you want to add anything to this slide or anything?
Well, one thing that I noticed this when I first saw it is the width of who's being employed. We have everything from education to healthcare. We have private sectors, we have public sectors, we have business, we have, huge businesses to self-employed. And I to me, that just shows the amount and the variety of education you can receive at Grandview, which speaks well. And also just the fact that so many of the local employees, they have other options. There's other schools they can contact, and it says something, I think, about our programs and about our school and the individuals that they want to hire our graduates. I mean, it's something that, you know, I'm sure Susie takes a lot of pride in. I know it's something that, you know, I take some pride in, that, you know, when I do talk to businesses, they want to come to Grandview. They want to meet our students. They want to get in to try to hire them for these positions. And I think that says a lot for Susie, the department, and the school in general.
Thank you. Those are great comments, you guys. And Rick, to your point, how wide this list is, I was thinking, you said exactly what I was thinking. So this is just a snapshot of last year's graduating class, but you know, historically, because I've been doing this for 15 years, I know the regular attenders, you know, and Unity Point and Wells Fargo and Principal Financial Group. And, you know, I mean, there are just every year after year, the same employers come back to Grandview to hire the emerging talent. So yeah, to just reinforce what you both have said, we've really established a track record with these institutions. The only other thing that I would offer in addition, I don't know if we have a slide for it. I don't think I provided one, is just a growing trend that we have in students that pursue postgraduate studies. So this is the employer slide. So these are the students who are going to graduate with their bachelor's degree and go directly into the workforce. But this last year, typically in the past, in Grandview's recent past, over the past 10 years, we've had approximately 9 to 10% of our students go directly into either a master's or a doctoral program. With 2020 class, with those graduates, it went to almost 15%. So that took a huge spike. And actually last week we celebrated Vocation Week, and we had a health sciences career and involvement fair, and we had institutions who are partners like Des Moines University, their admissions reps, who wanted to engage with our students who were pre-professional health science majors. So DOs, MDs, PAs, DPTs, all of those. So the admissions rep engaged with our students in a virtual context. And I just got a testimonial actually today from her, and she compared the value of that experience with Grandview students to what she experiences when she engages with Regent University caliber candidates. So I was like, woohoo.
That's awesome.
She was just really grateful and just said, this is, you know, the type of engagement that I had with Grandview students, and their questions and their professionalism was similar to what I expect when I go to a Regents fair. So the kind of opportunities in addition to career, certainly and Grandview offers some stellar master's programs. So, you know, we can definitely help facilitate that transition as well, if it isn't career, to postgraduate studies.
Awesome, thank you. And the last thing we're going to talk about is really just how can Grandview help you, or why Grandview specifically. So we do offer a variety of classes, degrees, and certificates. So specifically, if you need that online evening, those are going to be about 10 programs that we offer in that format that makes it feasible for you to still be able to work full time or support your family and attain that degree. We offer, like I said, classes in an online, face-to-face, and a hybrid format. Especially during the pandemic, this has been a concern for a lot of people. You know, how are they actually interacting in class, and are they going to be online? And something that we value here is we did a lot of research, and our students wanted that contact with their instructor and how they are going to get that contact. So the HyFlex model allows for students to come in person or virtually through a Zoom platform, which then helps them still engage with those faculty members. Like I said, connection and placement within the Des Moines, Iowa area nationwide. As Susie had mentioned, and Rick, our students are being hired by, top employers here in the area. And then, they hire students here, and then they move up in that institution or that organization, and they come back and they know the caliber that Grandview students are putting out and the faculty that we offer. Affordability, we are very comparable when it comes to cost. And sometimes we're even more affordable than, Regent schools or other online platforms because we don't hide our fees when we don't, find other ways to have that, that cost. We're very transparent. We, like Susie mentioned, we will develop a plan of study for you and tell you what it would cost over the 2 years you're here or 4 years you're here. That way, ahead of time that you can make this affordable. And we have opportunities for federal and state grants and aid. And then the individualized attention. Like I said, our faculty and staff take a pride into really supporting our students and making sure that they are more than just a number here. With the smaller faculty size or smaller students on campus, our classrooms range from, 10 students in a class to 24, and that's even in our online courses. So you are still able to engage with those faculty members and get that individualized attention that you want in a college experience that helps you grow and network and truly gain a little more out of it. Anything else, Rick or Susie?
No, I think you did a really great job. I would say on something like this, the only other thing that I throw out there is that, we understand that almost all of you would be enrolling in a program to help improve your career. Very, very few people just take a class just for fun. It's rare. It can't happen, but it's rare. And we hold ourselves accountable to you as students to help make this a success. You can see it in Susie when she's talking about how much more in depth she gets and the responses she gets compared to other universities. And it shows with Stephen and hopefully in our department, when you the kind of attention and what we're willing to do to help you resolve your issues. It's something that's important because really your success is our success. And that's the way a lot of us look at that. So it's, why we're a little greedy. We're not only helping you, we're helping ourselves because that's why we're here.
Yes.
Win-win.
Win-win. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining this brief webinar on kind of Grandview's success and where our students are going. If you have any questions or would like to attend Grandview or follow up, we can send out our contact information to all the RSVPs, and then we can follow up that way. You guys have a great rest of your day.